In 2026, military strikes exchanged between the United States, Israel, and Iran pushed the Middle East to the brink of a full-scale regional war. In response to incoming fire, Tehran threatened to mine the Strait of Hormuz. The Strait of Hormuz is a narrow waterway between the Persian Gulf and the Gulf of Oman that serves as the world's most critical choke point for oil transit. Global energy markets immediately panicked, sending oil prices soaring and threatening worldwide economic stability. The White House sought an exit strategy that projected strength to its domestic audience. Simultaneously, Iranian leadership recognized that their government could not survive the physical and economic toll of a direct, sustained military conflict with the United States. But after decades of severe hostility and public threats, direct communication between Washington and Tehran remained politically toxic for leadership in both capitals. This mutual paralysis left a vacuum that only a specific kind of intermediary could fill, someone capable of speaking to both sides to prevent a global economic catastrophe. To deliver a secret 15-point peace plan to Tehran, Washington bypassed the United Nations and its traditional European allies, choosing instead to route the proposal through Islamabad. This choice was made while Pakistan was actively battling a crippling internal economic crisis of its own. Curious, why would a nation facing its own existential financial collapse lead the attempt to prevent a Middle Eastern war? In the ruthless game of geopolitics, the most critical player is rarely the strongest. Often it is the one holding the specific mix of geographic access and hidden vulnerabilities that world powers can exploit. This satellite view shows the scale of the American demands. Iran must completely dismantle its existing nuclear capabilities, specifically the facilities at Fordo and Natanz. Furthermore, Tehran must hand over its stockpile of 60% enriched uranium to the IAEA. The IAEA, or International Atomic Energy Agency, is the United Nations watchdog responsible for monitoring global nuclear activity. The plan also targets Iran's military reach. Tehran must entirely abandon its regional proxy network, cutting off funding and direction to groups like Hezbollah in Lebanon and the Houthis in Yemen. Finally, Iran must guarantee safe and completely open passage for all commercial vessels through the Strait of Hormuz. In return for these concessions, the U.S. offers a series of incentives. These include gradual relief from crippling economic sanctions, reintegration into the global SWIFT banking system, and direct U.S. investment in Iran's civilian nuclear infrastructure. SWIFT is a vast messaging network used by financial institutions globally to quickly and securely send and receive money transfer instructions. This 15-point plan is an extreme strategy. It is built to force a permanent, regime-altering choice upon Tehran. Geography dictates Islamabad's involvement. Pakistan shares a volatile 900-kilometer border with Iran. If a full-scale war erupts next door, Pakistan faces an unmanageable refugee influx and an immediate border security crisis. Beyond security, there is a stark economic reality. Evidence suggests that Pakistan's mediation role may be a condition tied to unlocking its desperately needed IMF bailout. The IMF, or International Monetary Fund, is a global financial institution that provides massive loans to countries experiencing severe economic distress. American foreign policy goals are being delivered by proxy, exchanged for Pakistan's financial survival. This strategy has historical precedent. In 1971, Pakistan played this exact back-channeling role to facilitate the secret talks between the United States and China. That mission, like this one, required intense coordination between the highest levels of civilian and military leadership. Islamabad's mediation efforts represent a calculated survival strategy, an attempt to secure its borders while simultaneously unlocking international financial rescue. Tehran will likely reject the 15-point deal in public to save face with its citizens. Yet behind the scenes, Iranian officials are incentivized to negotiate to save their collapsing economy. If the deal succeeds, the upside for Pakistan is enormous. Islamabad regains its status as a regional power broker, secures its western border, receives its IMF cash, and increases India's diplomatic isolation in the region. If the diplomacy fails, Pakistan risks being caught in the crossfire. An angered Iran could destabilize the border region or permanently halt the crucial IP gas pipeline project. The IP gas pipeline, or Iran-Pakistan gas pipeline, is a major infrastructure project designed to deliver Iranian natural gas directly to energy-starved Pakistan. Failure also carries risks from the West. If the United States feels Pakistan did not exert sufficient pressure, Washington could impose financial penalties or direct the IMF to withhold funds, essentially bankrupting Islamabad. Pakistan is walking a razor-thin edge. This mediation is not a noble crusade. For Islamabad, it is a desperate, terrifying act of national survival.